Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us this afternoon to the NTRC's formal launch of our two programs to try to connect those who are currently at home, especially students, with internet connectivity. Right. So, but before I go into details of our new initiative, I just want to touch a little on the NTRC mandate in this area. So the NTRC is the National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. They are similar entities in four other recess countries in Grenada, St. Lucia, Dominica, and St. Kitts. And we have our regional part of the regulatory body in St. Lucia called ECTEL. Right, so we all work together to regulate the telecommunications sector in these 5 countries. And apart from the many regulatory functions we do, one of our important areas is bringing connectivity to persons who don't have, which mainly we use our Universal Service Fund for that purpose. Right, so today we're launching 2 programs. One will be done through our Universal Service Fund, one will be done through the general NTRC budget for this year. Right, so the Telecommunication Act, which established the NTRC in 2001, and the regulations that came with the USF in 2008, gives the NTRC a mandate to provide connectivity to a number of public institutions as well as to persons who don't have. So to date, we have done a number of projects, and we have put wireless internet in all clinics and hospitals in St. Vincent and the Grenadines so far. We have also put wireless internet in all our schools, both private and public. And so far, in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we have 72 primary schools and 27 secondary. They all have wireless internet provided from the NTRC. And just to give you an idea of the cost involved in providing this service each year, I mean, this is done through a contract with Flow. It's over $300,000. That's just the maintenance of the system, the network, as well as to provide this service. So it costs a lot more than that to put in the equipment originally, the access points and so forth, switches. We also have wireless internet in a number of public areas, such as Heritage Square and most of our tourism sites. Most of our community centers have wireless internet as well from the NTRC, and very importantly, all our clinics and hospitals have wireless internet from the NTRC. Right, in relation to the schools, which is more where we're targeting today, we have done over a new contract with Flow. They won the last bid for this 2 years ago. So on this new contract, we actually upgraded the speeds, which was done last year. So we now have 100 megabytes download in all schools. And of particular importance is the upload speeds, which I'll touch on a little bit later, which a lot of persons don't mention when they're marketing these different packages. But you don't get the same upload speeds with the download. So for example, if you have a package with 50 megs down, you don't get 50 megs up. That's not the normal stuff. Normally it's like 100 down, 6 up, and these things, or 10 up maybe, or 2 up. Right, so, and the upload speed is very important when you're doing stuff like uploading your homework, your content. If you're having Zoom meetings, the upload speed is very important for that. So when we did this new project with the schools last year, we actually put fiber optic connection to about 15 of the schools, mainly the large ones, both primary and secondary. Right, so they have speeds symmetrical in both directions. So like the 100 megs down, they have 100 megs up as well. So it's very important to minimize congestion in the system and assist with a lot of stuff being uploaded at the same time. Right, so after we did that work last year, we went into the schools. I say we hear the complaints all the time in some schools of the connectivity issues there. So there were some big schools still that needed more access points, and there were certain schools that had certain coverage issues. So we did an amendment to that contract with Flow. In December, we signed off on it at a cost of over $800,000 to buy over 100 more hotspots called access points, as well as provide the service to maintain them over the next life of the contract, for the next 4 years, right? Those access points were received in the country about a few weeks ago, and Flow will start installing them over the next 2 weeks. So hopefully when school starts back, we don't know when that will be as yet, school start back in person, you should see a better experience in especially the larger schools with the internet service there. Right, I just want to give a little data and the kind of usage that has been done in the schools through our Wi-Fi service. I have some data for November 2020 when school was back in action at that time. And over the month period in November, we had 32 terabytes of data being downloaded. That's for all the schools. 1 terabyte is 1,000 gigabytes, just to give an idea. So that's like 32,000 gigabytes of data downloaded. And the upload part of it, we had 4,000 gigabytes of data uploaded in that month. I'll give you a breakdown by student, by client. And in the primary school, it's about 273 megabytes of data being used by each student in the primary schools on a monthly basis. In the secondary school, a little less, at 210. And in the colleges, it's 262 megabytes per month. Also, in terms of the number of persons using the service per day, we have an average of about 16,000 in the primary schools. That's in November. 14,000 in the secondary schools and 1,700 for the colleges, which is mainly SVG, CC, the 3 campuses. It comes under the college area. Right, so that deals more or less with the internet in the school domain, at school, when you're at school, where I said a number of persons do have internet at home, which is what we got from our surveys over the years. We tried to do a program for that, which we did in one of our earlier projects about 4 years ago. We did a project for 340 households. So they got internet at $10 a month. They pay $10 per month. We paid the rest to Flow. They got the contract for it. That lasted for 2 years. So that went well. So based on that project day, when we did a new smart project last year, we did a update of that. We decided to do a further 680 households. And we started this last in the first phase of 340. That actually got started around the same time COVID came around in March, so it was very timely. We did that. So we actually got those 340 connected households connected by August last year. And we will be doing another 340, the other 340 from today. We originally planned to start this in August, so you line up with the school year, so persons will get 2 years in school. But we'll bring that forward to today. So that's a $10 per month package. You pay for $10, we pay the rest. This lasts for 2 years, and this is with a fixed connection to your home. So you get a modem and a Wi-Fi access point that you can share with everyone in the household. Right, so in addition to that 340 households we're going to start today, additional 340, before I go on to the other one, I just want to mention for the 340, there's some criteria to it. You cannot have internet currently at your home, so you cannot just say you're going to have internet now, you come off of it to save money. So we don't really verify this stuff. It's not possible. We'll check with the providers on that. So in this package, normally we expect persons not to have internet for the last 2 years. So these are persons more or less who never had internet, period. That's what you're trying to target to come on for the first time. Right. So for the other package we're going to start with the other program, this one will be done with Digicel and targeted mainly to students who have received tablets with the government program, which to date most of the tertiary students have received tablets. There are a few that haven't received, but mostly have done so. All of the secondary students, to our knowledge, has received tablets, right? And also grade 6 and some grade 5s have received tablets so far. The government has advised us that they will be receiving the other tablets for the lower grades sometime very shortly. right? So this program we're launching, Digicel will target those tablets whereby you will get a SIM card to insert into the tablet, and you will receive the wireless connection via that SIM into the tablet, right? And this package, you'll get 40 gigabytes of data for the month. You'll also be able to access the Microsoft Teams application, which the Ministry of Education is using mainly for the online schooling. Right? Digicel has agreed to offer that application free. So once you're doing meetings via that, do not use any of the data. So you get 40 gigabytes of data. Once you use the Microsoft Teams, it will not use any of that 40 gigabytes. So then you can use that 40 gigabytes for other research work, other stuff that you do for the month. Right? So for this program, the NTRC will cover the full cost of it for each SIM for the month. We plan to do this as it started from tomorrow. Application process will start from today. And you'll get the service lasting until the end of the third term, which is around end of June. That will go until that time. All right, so a couple more details on this. In terms of how many numbers we plan to do. We did some research recently with the schools to see who don't have internet at home, who don't have tablets, so we have that data. And we're trying to cover all of those persons that don't have internet currently at home. So it'll be around 2,900 connections, and we'll try to target to say one for each home. We know sometimes there are two students in the same home with tablets, so we won't give that home two SIM cards. Because it's possible to share the Wi-Fi hotspot from one tablet to the other tablets and other devices in the home. So once you have one SIM, you can share that, and the others can use through that one, right? So we plan to do 2,900 of these connections on a Digicel program. The first 1,100 will be paid for by the NTRC. Digicel has agreed to partner with the NTRC in this initiative, and they will provide after the 1,100 up to the 2,900. So we want to thank Digicel for that offer and partnership with us on it. So we believe we have the connectivity there to get everyone connected, homes with students, for the rest of the term. And also for those who get under the 340 program with the $10 one, that will last you for the next 2 years. Right? So the Digicel, I say, one will focus with the tablets, where I said there are some homes. I said, well, most likely right now will be in the primary school that will have no internet, no tablets, but they may have a laptop or a different computer in the home. So they most likely will prefer to use the 340 program with the $10 one. That will more or less match their needs at this time. Right. I just want to go a little into the forms. I say we have 2 forms available, one for each program. They are supposed to be on our website at this time, which is www.ntrc.vc. The forms are there. There are 2 ways of applying. You can fill the form out actually online. You're able to do that. It comes straight to us. For those who are able to do that, their hard copy forms will be available at certain locations. Right now we have them at the police stations, all police stations. You can collect the form there. You can collect the form at our office here. For those persons in the Grenadines, they'll be at the police stations as well, but also at different, in Mairo, we have a location there. I think it's at the community center, we'll have the forms there, and in Union, Radio Grenadines, they will also have the forms at the office. So if you get the hard copy forms there, just fill them out. You can take a picture with your WhatsApp with the phone, take a picture with your phone of the completed form and just WhatsApp it to our office. Our WhatsApp number is 498-8292. So we're trying to make it very easy to get this stuff into us without having to travel into Kingston and any long lines. So I say we have 2 options there. You can fill out online, you can fill out hard copy, you can WhatsApp us the forms when completed. Now, we had some little challenges with the 340 we did last year, which we're trying to fix in this batch. Is that some persons, when they apply, they'll put a phone number in it which is required, and when we're trying to contact them back, maybe to clarify some information or to notify them, we can't reach them. So please use a working phone number that we can reach you on, and most likely before one that has a WhatsApp available on it. So can reach you on. Now for the $10 one, which is through Flow, we require you to put in the closest telephone VENLIC pole as to your house. If you look on the pole, there's a number on it. And on the form, there's a space to put that number in. That will help Flow to get to your home very easily to connect you, and also look at information on your closest neighbor. So if you put that information in, it will help you get connected more easier. And also, we require a copy of your ID. So you need to take a picture back and front of your ID for both forms, and WhatsApp that to us as well, or if it's online, you can upload it and scan it, so different options are there. Right, so we need that information. We cannot process the forms without your IDs information. So I think I have covered what I want to cover so far. I will now reach out for any questions that anyone may have. You can just put that in the comment section there, right, on Facebook or on YouTube, and I will try to answer your questions at this time. So we have any questions there, Marcellus? I have one question there. Last one. So to be clear, Mr. Knights, you are saying that all that I need to do is fill out the form, turn it in, and I'll be able to get internet. Yes, well, I said once it's not guaranteed you fill the form out, because it is on criteria. We have to make sure it's done properly. So we have to verify that the person who's applying don't have internet already. So if you don't have internet already, and you have students at the home that are in school, most likely you will be able to get the internet just by doing that process. That's for the digital one, right? So for the Flow one, has a little more involved in it. As I said, for example, if you might have a account with Flow already that you owe in Flow, that can stop you from getting that package and so forth. So there's some different things that might stop you, but that's all I have to do in terms of filling the form and sell it in. I mean, getting the form to us is very easy. Right, one more question here. Flow have stated that they are not making any connections in Beckway. This is a major inconvenience. May I ask, what are your plans to provide your service since the major providers are unable to fulfill? Right, a very good question from Beckway, which I was originally planned to address and missed that in my presentation. Right, so I'm going to touch a few minutes on the Grenadine situation and internet. We're well aware of the, what to use, maybe poor internet service in the Grenadines. This is something that's been there for a few years well. And the reason for that is due to the way the internet gets to the Grenadines. It's delivered to the Grenadines via wireless connections, called microwave connections, that has always been for many, many years, decades ago, right? Which was okay for telephone calls and so forth, and when the internet was very small at those days, dial-up internet and so forth, 1 megabyte or maybe less. But after you start getting to broadband speeds, that wireless connections cannot offer those kind of speeds. Further, it's susceptible to weather conditions, especially the long links, like for example to Union Island, Canawan. Those long links, if it rains a lot, will disturb those microwave links, right? So we were very aware of that situation, and we worked on that over maybe 10 years ago. We started that work on that in terms of developing a project to solve it, which we did via the CASEP project. So the governments of Grenada and St. Vincent and Grenadines agreed to fund a subsea cable. This is a fiber optic cable that goes in the sea. Right, so we got that into a World Bank project, where the World Bank put up some of the funds, but most of the funding for it is being done by the government of St. Vincent and Grenadines and the government of Grenada. It's around $20 million to do. So that was done through that project. It actually was installed in 2019, around August. It was installed at that time, since it was commissioned. So the cable is in. The whole up of that cable, why service is not being delivered through it to consumers in the Grenadines is that the contract for the cable installation was done by Digicel, and there's a requirement under the contract for the rates to use a cable to be published in the contract for other persons to use it. For example, if Flow want to use it cable, which is also a requirement of the World Bank agreement to fund it. It has to be an open access cable whereby any provider can use it, right? Because currently each company has the wireless links to the Grenadines. So Digicel has their own wireless links, Cable Wireless has them, which is Flow, and Carib Cable had their own wireless links, which was bought out by Columbus, and then Flow. So there are actually 3 different wireless links feeding the Grenadines. So it's not feasible to put 3 different fiber optic cables to the Grenadines based on the cost. So the one cable can cater for all the companies. So the issue is the rates has not been agreed upon or approved as yet, and it's been, so Digicel has proposed rates. We and the government have looked at them and think they're too high and will prevent other companies from using it and offering a good affordable service to the consumers. So that is the reason why the internet in the Grenadines continue to be at that poor level. But we hope that this can be resolved within the next couple of weeks. I said the cable is ready, it's finished, it's up and running. It's just a matter of those rates being approved at the right price where other companies can then access that cable and offer their services to the citizens there. So back to your question, I assume that's why Cable Wireless don't want to add more new customers to it, because I said it will just make the network more congested, the current wireless network. So for those customers in the Grenadines, the Digicel stuff might be a better one at this time.